evening. Need I introduce at the piano, well-known musician, entertainer, raconteur, and all-round blackguard, Teddy Fyffe.
Good evening.
Which must make me Donald Brabbins. If we're looking a little tanned, it's because we've just returned from the continent, where we've been touring our review.
A shoddy piece of work.
Shoddy, but surprisingly lucrative. Last time Fyffe was in Italy, it was in a tank. Isn't that right, sir?
That's right.
He was fleeing from the Allies. He fought with the Nazis, you know. Now, the next song is about the delights or otherwise of neighbours. Love thy neighbour, the good book says, Matthew 5:43. Well, we do believe in upholding the letter and the spirit of the law, don't we, Fyffe?
Quite so, absolutely.
We've been caught red-handed too many times to be cavalier about it. Now, I've got a certain neighbour. I saw her only today. She's well into her 40s.
Or even older, I'd say. She's still got a glint in her eye, a twinkle, a sparkle, a smile.
The honest truth is, I know what I'd do.
If the chance should arise, I would.
Wouldn't you? Yes, I still do, Mrs. Palmer.
She's jolly and sprightly and spry.
She looks like a dear lady, but she's got a wild glint in her eye.
I bet she's really dirty.
She's been several times round the block, where sunken and cool she would turn the air blue, then get down on all fours and latch onto your car. Fyffe here's been in trouble with his good lady. Isn't that right, Fyffe?
I can never seem to get it right.
He takes the rubbish out, then gets chastised for tramping mud into the carpet.
Can't do right for doing wrong.
He makes a cup of tea, then leaves the milk bottle out of the fridge.
I was accused of willfully and maliciously turning it into cheese.
Imagine that, into cheese. But that's not the worst of it, though, is it, Fyffe?
Would that it were, would that it were.
No, the thing that consistently lands Fyffe in the proverbial is, well, if you'll permit us, we've committed it to verse, which goes like this. It's cathartic for him, or some such Greek-sounding thing. His psychoanalyst says, better out than in, which, funnily enough, is what this song is all about.
Now, I have a little lady, my better half, my spouse.
By nature, she is placid. She wouldn't scare a mouse.
But certain things annoy her, they make her curse and mutter.
Best avoid these irritations if you know how your bread is buttered.
So when you're seeing to the missus, better watch your etiquette.
The missus is quite a stickler, likes to know what to expect. You'll drive her half demented if you anoint her breasts with oil.
But no matter how you're tempted as you come closer to the boil,
don't reach around behind her with an out-extended thumb, and in the heat of fulsome passion, try to push it in her. Cause that will make the missus slap you hard across the face, and there'll be no more seeing to the missus. Not that month, at any rate. Vocational calling to the piano. Fyffe here was within an ace of becoming a schoolmaster. Isn't that so, Fyffe?
balum balum balum, belly below below.
You see, just to hear that fills me with remorse. To think we're keeping such pedagogic pedigree from its rightful place at the front of a dusty classroom. A whole generation of young Britons will have a Fyffe-shaped gap in their frontal lobe.
They're cerebellar.
Vast tranches of schoolboy cricketers denied the thrill of a Teddy Fyffe delivery.
A Chinaman with a twist.
Deprived of his famous anecdotes of how he saw off his last victim at the card table.
A Chinaman with a twist.
Or how Mrs. Fyffe came to produce such an exquisite-looking Oriental child.
A twist with the Chinaman.
The chief amongst these omissions is what I like to call the Fyffe perspective. And so to redress the balance, we have set down the unique essence of Teddy Fyffe in the form of a song to be sung morning, noon and night by every child in the land. Why are the French such a bunch of work-shies?
Why are the Belgians such a bore?
Why are the Germans and the Dutch such terrible mountebanks?
And dealing with your Swiss always a chore.
From Monaco to Marrakesh, they'll lie as soon as draw breath. In Spain, they'll sell their mothers for a crown. In Greece, they live in bungalows and eat the bits between dogs' toes.
The Turkish are all thieves of wide renown.
a single truth we hold, self-evidence and fancy-free. Take note now, because we'll only say it once. All points abroad are swathed in mediocrity, because foreigners are a terrible bunch of
It's an outdoorsy kind of woman, isn't that right, Fyffe?
Quite so, quite so.
She makes Baden-Powell look lily-livered. Happiest with the butt of a 12-bore tucked underneath her armpit.
Won't betide any rabbits in the vicinity.
So Fyffe here's what our colonial cousins call a sports widow. Has lots of hobbies to fill up the empty hours.
I had an involvement in amateur conjuring for a while.
Ah, yes. Had to give it up, though. The sequins from his leotard would get everywhere. Fyffe has another form of passing the time, though, when he is not at the piano. And once again, we have devised an exploration of the subject in verse form, which we would like to share with you, if we may. Look at those hands, a surgeon's hands. About time you gave them back to him, isn't it?
The children are out of the house. It's as quiet as a mouse.
Mrs. F is off again, bagging pigeon, hare or grouse.
When one finds oneself truly alone, what is a man to do?
One could put up a shelf.
Or please oneself.
It's really up to you. Knocking off a crafty one, there's really nothing finer. Do it in the kitchen.
Lose yourself over the china.
Knocking off a crafty one,
I prefer it to being in bed.
the best kind of aloneness, an hour or two ahead of unadulterated pleasure. Taken at my own pace, some Parisian nudes in poses nude spread out across the place.
And me lying before them, taking myself in hand.
No worry about decorum when you play in a one-man band. Or if you wanted something racy and you like asphyxiation, an orange and a rope will get you far. Hip hurrah!
Been down the tennis club again. Umpiring, isn't it?
I find it very hypnotic.
Hypnotic. Is that the word?
Yes, this is the back and forth of the ball across the net, the thwack of cloth-covered vulcanized rubber on taut catgut.
Yes, he's been overseeing the women's under-21s again. A bit like putting the fox in charge of the chicken coop, if you ask me. I think it's the glasses, you see. Makes him look respectable, like a chemist or some such thing. Reliable, trustworthy, a pillar of the community. They've no idea. Now, this next song proved very popular on the continent. Sounds rather good, sung in French. Our apologies, then, because in English it sounds ruddy awful.
The loveliest thing about teenage girls